The Quatz. This is a secondary weapon in Warframe. The hipfire is full auto, and if you start shooting while aiming, you get these 4-round bursts. The feature I want to show you, though, is the reload. If you reload the Quatz when the magazine is empty, you slam dunk a new magazine into the weapon, which stuns enemies in a big radius. They get an electricity status effect. Now, you can see that when that happens, enemies, they kind of become the easiest headshot targets of all time. A lot of the things in Warframe that reward headshots do require you to aim to use them, but if you aim after you start firing full auto, you continue using that full auto mode. So you get this odd combination of unrestrained automatic fire and focusing on precision headshots when enemies get stunned by the reload. The fulfillment of trying to aim with the safety net of literally shooting all of the time without a care in the world if the magazine runs empty. The stun even means you're pretty safe while reloading. For this style of play, I'm picking up some of the bonuses you can get for getting headshots while aiming. First up is Secondary Deadhead. This is going to cover base damage. I'm not going to use Hornet Strike because I want the space for something else. And it gives a headshot multiplier, which I would imagine is a separate damage multiplier. Very helpful. If you choose not to use other things that reduce recoil, the auto fire mode does have a lot, and this also reduces that. Galvanized Crosshairs, similar idea. It gives you crit chance when you get a headshot while aiming, and you also get stacking further crit chance if you get headshot kills while aiming. I really like this mod. The mods that give you stacking bonuses as you get kills can be a little problematic if you have too many of them because you don't get any of the bonus up front. So I like that this one gives you substantial crit chance before you've made a kill with it. Speaking of which, Galvanized Diffusion, you also get a good amount of the multi-shot before you have stacked up kills. And again, this is another damage multiplier. How about a few more? The Quatz has innate electricity damage, so I'll add Toxin to make corrosive, kind of 2 more damage multipliers. I get elemental damage, which multiplies with my base damage, and corrosive, which I think is a stronger status effect against the armored enemies I'm going to have trouble with. On general use builds like this, I tend to use Expel Grineer or like Grineer anti-faction damage mods because those are the enemies that I expect a weapon built for no situation in particular to have trouble with because of their armor. Crit damage, the weapon Exilus slot. Well, I'm going to be aiming a lot, so how about Spry Sights? This is movement speed when aiming, especially if I use a Warframe that can speed up your movement speed. A lot of the reload speed buff Warframes in the game also happen to buff movement speed. Gauss and Volt are 2 examples. I said I wanted a bit of extra space, so I removed Hornet Strike. I'm using Deadhead to get the base damage. One of the things I can get in exchange for that is Fulmination. This increases the radius of the stun when you reload the weapon. That sounds awesome to me, absolutely. Also, just looking at what's on here so far, there aren't that many more damage multipliers you even could add. You're going to have to add more of something you already have to add more damage to this, which just isn't going to do as much. Hornet Strike is almost certainly the biggest chunk of damage left, if that's what you want. I have a Riven that gives ammo maximum, so your maximum ammo pool that you carry, you start the mission holding more ammo, multi-shot, and then a recoil reduction. It removes all the recoil, which you've probably noticed in the footage so far. It also reduces the weapon's magazine capacity, so you run out and therefore reload more often. If you don't have this or don't decide to pursue a Riven mod, you might add more fire rate, 1 more slot, and I want reload speed. I think this is more fun when the reload is really fast. Although, I see myself using this with Warframes that buff your reload speed as well, so it's Volt for these examples. And I would also like to recommend Arcane Velocity, though if you did decide to put more fire rate on already, I might be a little careful with this. It's a lot of fire rate for a secondary arcane on your Warframe. Using the Quatz this way, I think it'd be kind of like a minigame. In this case, I'm getting an unusual mix of abandon and attention to detail. By shooting non-stop, yet still going for headshots, moving fast, but still aim down sights. Kind of weird for some people. I'm really enjoying it. And there's that rhythm of the stuns going off from the reloads. In Warframe, that makes me think of general use play. I'm going to use this when I want to switch up gameplay while doing no mission in particular. This is like some random relic I'm opening. The resulting combat is a bit hectic, maybe not the most relaxing way to play. One small snag you may encounter is with your ammo stores, especially if you add a lot of fire rate to reload more often. You could add an ammo mutation or a maximum ammo mod if this becomes an issue. You certainly got options. And you don't have to fire the thing non-stop for the whole mission. I just think that's kind of fun. This video was more about making a build than focusing on a thing to make your builds with than most of my gameplay gems videos, but what appeals to me about the Quatz's design is how it adds a simple variation to normal play. You get a big stun when you reload. So
I think it's more of a writing prompt type of game piece, and I'm all about that. Folks, I present to you a gameplay gem, the Quatz. Reload forcefully and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Now, where are we off to next?